What's up, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday. You are very welcome along to the Late Night Agenda here on the Anfield Agenda. I'm your host, Craig, as always. I'm looking forward to having a chat with you all. Lots of transfer rumours to go through. Wherever you are in the world, I hope life is treating you well. I wish you all nothing but love and happiness, and I hope you've all had a great day. Let's get stuck into it straight away. As always, I've been monitoring the chat before I start, because sometimes I get here a little bit early and I have a read through the chat, and if I don't like stuff, if I don't like people's attitude towards other people, they're gone. We said, I want to make that very clear at the start of the stream. We work hard to make the chat a place where people can come in and express themselves, feel comfortable and have some fun. Any bullying, anything like that, and your ass is out of here. I don't care how long you've been on the channel. I've just removed 2 people from the chat there. I don't want to start on the negative, so let's go straight into fun. My buddy Dave from Dave's LFC Chats is in the house, and you couldn't but smile when you know Dave's around. How are you, Dave? I hope you're keeping well, my friend. The Revanite's in, Calvin Hamilton's in, lots of people are in. I hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday. Look, it's tough sometimes to know with transfer rumours what's bullshit and what isn't bullshit. We'll get through as much of it as we can together and try and come to a general consensus, ladies and gentlemen, with regards to transfer news and a few other bits and pieces. It's not all going to be transfer news tonight, you know. There's some serious stuff to get through as well. Ticket allocations, Stevie G, an approach to Steven Gerrard as well to leave Rangers and go somewhere else. So we'll have a little chat about that one. Where to start? Look, let's start with, I suppose, Vanderbeek, a name that... This has happened on a couple of occasions. People have said to me, have you read anything on, let's say, Ziyech? Because I think that was a really good example. We spoke about Ziyech, so I was like, no, I've seen nothing on Ziyech. And then next day, bang, story out, Ziyech. Today, similar thing. I've been saying all week, even longer. I've seen nothing on Vanderbeek to Liverpool. Only ever seen him linked to Spurs, United and other clubs. Well, that's kind of changed a little bit today, because Dutch football expert Marcel van der Kraan has stated that Liverpool are one of a number of clubs to have scouted young Ajax midfielder Donny van der Beek. I always say Van der, but it's Vanderbeek or Vanderbeek. As per an article that went out in Sky Sports, Van der Kraan named Liverpool alongside Spurs, Manchester United, Everton and Newcastle as having scouts being present at the Amsterdam Arena to watch the midfielder in action. The 22-year-old is also thought to prefer a move to the Premier League over the likes of Serie A or the Bundesliga. So, again, I'm going to put this to you all. I said the title of the stream, Van der Beek makes sense. It does. He's 22 years of age. He's a midfielder. He can play in an 8, he can play in a 10. He's played in both positions for Ajax this season. He's a box-to-box midfielder, really. Makes sense. That's the style of player Liverpool tend to go after. Decent age bracket, relatively reasonable price probably, although no prices were mentioned in the articles I've read. Not saying that it's going to happen, I'm just saying that this, compared to other stuff we'll talk about tonight, to me makes a little bit of sense. Craig, can you change your background saying 6 times? But my background doesn't say anything. The badge, we changed the badge, mate. There's 6 stars on the badge. I hope that works. We will work on something for the new season. Oh, don't worry, we will change the studio background for the new season. Pressure on Connor there, because I don't know if you've even had the conversation with Connor. Maybe I have. I should have. Either way, he's the brains behind the operation. What else we got? Well, it's Mossy Kyo. I can't say it now, Anfield Agenda, because he's in the chat. I don't know who you're talking about, Mossy, but always feel free, mate, to say what you want to say. Stephen Taggart's in the house as well. Stephen, how are you, my friend? We've got Clarky Sink Goose. I like that name. My mate lives in Holland, and I asked him about him, and he's convinced Donny will stay at Ajax for another year. It's always good to get input, mate, from people like that who are in Holland. So I really do appreciate you taking the time to put that comment in. And brilliant, yeah. This is what we try and do on here. We try and come to a consensus about signings like this. The journalists are getting their info from your live chat, said P. Short. I'm not talking about us having any info, but it has happened. I'm not going to lie. I've seen stuff on Twitter and then all of a sudden it's appeared on other bigger outlets. So it's not unknown for people to be fishing around for stuff like that. Son is so overrated, said Y17 Comps. I don't think he is, mate. I think he's absolutely class, to be honest. I know some Spurs fans felt at times he could be a little bit annoying because he would try and do stuff that probably wasn't on, but you know, I'd really like him at Liverpool, if I'm being honest. Things around Fekir have gone too quiet already, said Joshua Hoy. There's a little bit. Jean-Michel Aulas came out again and spoke about the fact that Nabil Fekir will be leaving Lyon this summer. Other than that, there hasn't really been much muted as to where the hell he's going to go or who's going to sign him. Obviously, a lot of Liverpool fans, myself included, would really like to see him here. But there's been no change. No change from the stance of the British journalists that seem to believe that when we pulled out of that deal, it was over, even though I'd absolutely love it to happen. I love the Beek, said Damo Dongo. Whatever you do with your own free time, mate, just do it safely and enjoy yourself. I know what you meant with the Beek. I'm not sure if everybody got that reference, but I got it. Maybe that says a bit more about me, mate. Maybe maybe we're both being bad together. I don't know, but let's have a bit of fun anyway. Things around Fekir have gone quiet. We've done that one already. How am I, Nigab? I am excellent, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Mbappe, Jack's page asks. Mbappe, question mark. Look, we had a bit of fun with Mbappe. Let's be honest about this the other day when that story came out. But he ain't going to Liverpool, mate, this summer. It seems like the owner of Manchester City, the owner of PSG. Sorry, sometimes I get them confused. He's very, very convinced he's staying there. There's a few reasons that make me think that makes sense. If you're gonna try and move somebody on this summer, get a diva out of your club. I'm not calling Mbappe a diva. I'm absolutely calling Neymar a diva. Neymar's 27 years of age. It makes more sense to move him on than Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe is the poster boy, or one of the poster boys of French football. He has a real good future ahead of him, whereas Neymar is just a drama queen and seems like he wants back to Barcelona. So from their point of view, it would make more sense for them to move on Neymar and keep Mbappe there. And they did. I think I said yesterday on the stream, he said he's 200% certain that Mbappe will be at Paris Saint-Germain next season. Ben Washbrook said Son is top class, which, that's what I'm like as well. Fernandes stats are better. Football isn't played on stats though, mate. That's the thing. Fernandes plays in the Portuguese league. Numbers in the Portuguese league cannot be comparable, let's say, to numbers in the Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, because it's a much easier calibre of league. That doesn't mean to underplay what a good season Fernandes has had there. Was it 20 goals or something like that, 13 assists? A record for a midfielder. Maybe it was more than 20 goals. Maybe I'm doing it for disservice. But yeah, it was a record for a midfielder in the Portuguese league. But it's still the Portuguese league at the end of the day. And you can't use them stats because they just aren't comparable. And this is why I tend to stay away from stats from when I use stuff, because I'm not qualified to talk about statistics. I don't know what is and isn't relevant, but I do know that something that straightforward, you can't really use it, mate, to be fair. Blaine Byrne said, the Anfield rap was saying the £45 million bid follows Liverpool's current business model to test the water with a lower offer. Loving this. Yeah, it is something we've been known to do, to be fair, in the past. Although we never used to follow it up. And going back to the days where Christian Perslow and stuff were at the club and we were using what's his face? What's your man's name that was doing the Damien Comolli. When we were using him and stuff, we used to just go lowballing, but we didn't really follow back up then with a better improved offer a lot of the time. Son is world class, or will be world class for us, said Aziz Khan. Craig, what about Federico Chiesa from Fiorentina? He's amazing, really good. We're looking at him. We spoke about him the other night, Poochbound. There was a link linking us to Chiesa, whose father, I believe, was a Fiorentina legend. He's looked very good as well. He's had a great start in the Under-21 European Championships. But the serious interest there seems to come from Juventus. And what I've read seems to suggest that if he was to leave Fiorentina, it's more likely he would go to Juventus. And as good as he looks, I don't know what it is. I'm always nervous about signing players from the Italian league. But he does look a real talent from the few bits I've seen. I actually watched the Italy-Spain game the other day that Italy won 3-1 in the Under-21 European Championships. And he was clinical. He looked really, really good. What position is Vanderbeek? Asked Anthony Crone. He's a midfielder, mate. He can play in an 8 and a 10. Which means, well, I say 8 and a 10. He can play box to box, or he can play a little bit more forward. We'll get Nathan Murray. We'll get on to that Koulibaly thing in 1 second, buddy. Don't worry. Aulas has said there's been no offers for him with regards to Nabil Fekir. Correct, Gaming Tube. And if there had have been, we know Jean-Michel Aulas likes to talk, likes to keep himself and Leon in the media. So if there had have been a sniff, he would have been letting the world know about it, because he doesn't seem to be able to keep his mouth shut with regards to stuff around Leon. I love Donny van der Beek. He's just the type of player I think that we need, said Sefty Joe. Owen Monaghan said, hey Craig, what do we have 20 times? Hello, I've been on in a while. Yeah, you do have 20 times, mate, and I congratulate you on that. But as I keep pointing out to United fans, mate, we're tied. Whatever way we look at it, I want to banter you, you want to banter me. 42 trophies apiece is the realistic number there, mate. And hello to you as well, Owen. Nice to see you in. I think Klopp will pull a Pochettino and sign nobody, said Gaming Tube. Won't happen. 100% going to sign a player this summer. It would be stupid of us not to. How can we not sign a player when you've got, let's say, Manchester City going out there now and they're going to sign Rodri from Atletico they're going to trigger that 70 million release clause. You can't let clubs around you strengthen and not then go and strengthen. Not if you really want to go and win the league. And that's the difference between our ambition and maybe Spurs' ambition. Spurs, to qualify for the Champions League is a good achievement. Of course they're going to want to progress. I'm not trying to belittle Spurs as a club, but Pochettino had his hands tied. There's no issues like that for Klopp. There's money there for Jurgen Klopp if he wants to spend it. It's just a matter of getting the right players in that Jurgen Klopp believes will improve the system, and he'll do it. He'll pull the trigger if needs be. I'd be very disappointed if we did make a couple of additions this summer. You always want to be improving your squad, no matter how good they are. You miss a lot of the chat because you read a message and go into deep context with that one message. Okay, John. Or here's what you can do. Fuck off. Simple. You don't like it, John? Fuck off. This is our channel. The whole point of it is I read comments. I then go and talk about it. I then come back to the group. I put it out to them. If it's not for you, that's alright. No hard feelings, John. But again, I probably read more chat than any other football YouTube channel that's out there, particularly around Liverpool. So I do my best, mate. If it's not for you, as I said, no hard feelings. But I don't put up with pissing and whining, mate. So there you go. The door's there if you want to use it, my friend. You don't think we need Donny? He's class though, said man with the plan. Fantastic goals in the Champions League. Prefer Chiesa, can back up the front three. Yeah, the Chiesa thing would make me nervous, but he does seem like a genuine talent. Different players though. Chiesa's much more of an attacking player than Vanderbeek, but I like a player with a good engine. I like the James Milners, the Jordan Hendersons. I think in a Jurgen Klopp system, it's very important to have those good box-to-box midfielders that can run all day. And Vanderbeek looks like that type of a guy from the limited amount I've watched them. Scotty said, Craig, I got told apparently my autism is getting worse. I don't know how that's possible, mate. Excuse my ignorance, because as much as I understand autism, it is what it is. It doesn't get worse. From what I understand, from my own experiences, from my child's experience, I'm not qualified, mate, to talk about it. So I hope whatever it is, buddy, I hope you get it sorted out. But I'm just sorry to hear that you're having a bad time, mate. I wish you the best, I really do. Saw Vanderbeek for 53 million, said Oshie McGovern. What else have we got? Boy, John. I didn't kick him out. No, Jeff, I left John in. I didn't want to kick him out because he's every right to give his opinion. I was just giving my opinion back to him. John wasn't trolling, to be fair. I don't think he deserved to be kicked out. I just simply said to him, if it's not for you, mate, no hard feelings and move on. Modern day midfielder must be mobile, said Damo Dongo, which is true. Having Oxlade-Chamberlain back would be like a new signing, said UK lad. MUFC Gamer said, honestly, if Liverpool get a world-class number 9, they'll win the league. Firmino drop back to central attacking midfielder. Our problem has never been scoring goals though, mate, so I don't think your argument really holds much water. We score a shit ton of goals. Look at our goal difference this season, and we conceded very little as well. We need strength and depth. We could go and win the Premier League with what we have. It's not about not scoring goals. We score enough goals. What Bobby Firmino does, you can't look at it from a goal scoring perspective. If Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah weren't scoring a shit ton of goals, then I'd be worried about Bobby Firmino. But Bobby Firmino is about covering yards, pressing, making intelligent runs, allowing Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah to express themselves and get those goals. Drag defenders left, drag them right, be a pain in people's arse, dispossess people, set up opportunities. There's a lot more than just scoring goals. We can't really be thinking of Bobby Firmino as a number 9. Not in the normal context of a number 9. Yeah, he's different. He's a little bit different. I try and think of him more as a defender from the front, if I'm being honest. A midfielder, Yuri Tielemans. Not seeing any link, Nageb, for us to Yuri Tielemans, although Spurs do seem to have dropped out of the race. They're more into trying to sign Ndombele from Lyon by the looks of it. We just need to trust Klopp and the staff. They know what they're doing. They've got us this far, said Tom Jones. Let me move on to my bullshit rumour of the day, if I may, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm sure a lot of you people will have seen this as well. Sorry, I missed Damo Dongo. If we get Van der Beek, I'm going to be on a high. It'd be a good signing, mate. It'd be a good age bracket. I'd be happy with him. I'd be looking at the likes of Van der Beek as a long-term successor to maybe Jordan Henderson and James Milner, if it was me, if that's the way I'm thinking about this. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, buddy. I really do appreciate it. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the bullshit rumour of the day, the one that I'm sure you guys have seen, the one a couple of you mentioned already, is Koulibaly. Let's be realistic about this. Koulibaly's been linked to a £110 million move to Liverpool, according to, I think it's called Il Mattino, but I call massive bullshit on this. Massive, massive bullshit. Why would we go and spend £110 million on an absolutely top-notch centre-back? No argues about his quality. Koulibaly's excellent and will make a good signing for somebody, but we don't need him. We don't need to go and spend £110 million on Koulibaly. If we wanted a centre-back that badly, you go and you get the young kid from Ajax for like 65 million quid, Ligt. It doesn't make any sense. If you hadn't got Virgil van Dijk, maybe there's some truth to that. But we've got that 27-year-old centre-back. We've got that established centre-back that can make the players around him better. We don't need Koulibaly, nor will we be going and dropping £110 million on a centre-back anytime soon. I'm calling massive bullshit on that one. There's been soft links to Koulibaly going back to before we signed VVD. Sorry, I was going to say Vanderbeek again. Before we find Van Dijk, it just doesn't make any sense. You've got United need a centre back, so it's Koulibaly, Maguire. For us, it doesn't make any sense. The only argument I really made for De Ligt being acceptable was progression and sell-on value and all these other things that come into context when you look at Liverpool signings over the years. Koulibaly makes no sense from an FSG perspective, from where we are as a club, what we need. It's tough to say all that because I really rate Koulibaly. I'm not. This isn't me slagging off him as a player. He's quality, absolute quality, and whoever gets him will get a great centre back. But 110 million in this window is not what we need to be dropping on a centre back. So yeah, as I said, I call massive bullshit on that one. And also, while we're dismissing stuff, the Echo have reported that we won't be signing Alex McCarthy from Southampton and that guy Tokaz or however you pronounce his name from Besiktas. So they've ruled us out of those two signings as well. Now, I'm not saying again that that's a matter of fact. I'm just saying that that's what the Echo have said. But what interestingly on this, so they have ruled out the Tokaz guy, they've ruled out the McCarthy thing, but they didn't rule out Matt Targett. And that Southampton link was about McCarthy and Targett, that story that broke. And I've yet to see them rule out Matt Targett. We spoke about this yesterday. Matt Targett, for me, would make perfect sense. 23 years of age. Still progressing because he had a little bit taken out of his career with injury, so he's still playing catch up a little bit. Was thought of very highly at Southampton. I think maybe it was when Luke Shaw broke through. Matt Targett was ahead of him in the pecking order. I think he had an injury which allowed Luke Shaw to take his chance, and he took it magnificently and he got his move. So for me, Matt Targett will be a great left back to bring in as backup. But yeah, so there's my three negative things on the day. It looks like no Alex McCarthy, no Tokaz, and no Koulibaly. I mean, anyone who really thought we were going to sign Koulibaly, I mean, come on. Realistically, we were never going to do that. Never. We need a left back and possibly a right back more than a centre back, said John Cable. Take advantage of what have we got? Of what? I don't know what we're taking advantage of. Good evening, Elijah John. How are you? We're not getting any defenders, I don't think. Certainly not any prime age defenders. We might get a young left back. That's kind of where I am as well, Safety Joe. We don't need to go and sign anybody for that type of money. It just doesn't make any sense for us. Why would you drop that when you could probably go and buy... But let's throw another 90 on top of that and you could go and really try and get Kylian Mbappe or somebody mental. It doesn't make any sense to me. We should sell Salah for big money. He's a waste. Oh, that's what you meant take advantage of. Yeah, look, instantly my reaction to that is to just say, shut up, mate. But yeah, no, I kind of understand where you're coming from. I don't want to move Salah on, but you could cash in if you wanted to free up cash. He's the one of the front three I said that's probably more likely to leave than any of the rest. But then again, I don't think we're going to sell anyone this summer from the front three, and we'll push on, reevaluate everything next summer. But I understand your point, George. But he isn't shit, and he isn't a waste. He's top quality. He's proven top quality. Get Clavan back. He'd be only like 3 million, said Sean Bailey. I'd be happy to let Origi, Bruce or Shaqiri back up to Mane, Mino and Salah to see how we get on, but would love a world-class creative midfielder, backup, goalkeeper, right back and left back, said David Newell. Yeah, the attacking situation is really interesting. On that, there's a little bit of news around potential new deals. So where is it gone? Did I write the notes on this or do I just remember it off the top of my head? Either way, I know it off the top of my head. So it looks like Joe Matip, James Milner and Divock Origi are going to be rewarded with new improved contracts at the club, which I think the three of them thoroughly deserve. All three of them have 1 year remaining on the Liverpool contract, so could potentially all go on a free next summer. Milner's case you could look at a little bit differently because he is coming into the twilight of his career, shall we say. But for Divock Origi and Joe Matip, there's still maybe, in Matip's case, probably 3-4 years left in the bank. So to give him an extension makes sense. Origi, I think, has earned that extension. I mean, whatever you think about him, he has stepped up in big moments this season. But I still think we need to add. So your point, David, was that you're happy to see Origi and Bruce or maybe Shaqiri as backup. I think that's too much of a drop-off personally. I think we need one more player in there. And everything else you've said, buddy, I absolutely agree with. Richard Gosney said, as for transfers, I believe we need to get a massive signing, not just to make a statement and an outlet for goals and assists, but the profit from shirt sales. Right, let's put this shirt sales nonsense myth to bed straight away. We ain't going to make a fucking penny from shirt sales, mate. That's not how it happens. So if New Balance come in and throw down whatever it is, let's say New Balance have given us 15 million quid a year. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but let's say right now it's 20 million quid a year. That's their money. They sell the shirts, that's New Balance's money. Liverpool don't get money from that. The only money Liverpool get from that is the same money that a Sports Direct, a JD Sports would get, and that's a merchant's cut. So just a little small cut from every sale, the same as any other merchant. The deals that we have with shirt manufacturers, I think there's maybe two teams in the world that have slightly different deals. We don't get any money. That's why these companies shell out so much. So the shirt sales wouldn't help pay back at all. It doesn't work like that, mate. I think we need another centre back. I don't think we do. What else we got? Okay, thank you for removing Conor Hourihane, Stephen, because I don't know why the hell he felt he just needed to say the same shit over and over again. Milner's getting better with age, said Morton. He is, man. He's been top quality. I mean, he lives the life as well. That's the thing about James Milner. He absolutely lives the life. He doesn't drink, never gets out of shape, always turns up for pre-season in great nick as well. He just is a thorough professional. I cannot speak highly enough of James Milner. Cape Town Muslim said, sell Mo, back-to-back Golden Boot winner, epitomises what's great about Liverpool the last 2 years. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Mohamed Salah has been sensational, and he's idolised by Reds, and we love him, and he shouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon. Salah won a Golden Boot the last 2 years running and still terrifies defences. He's got a good few years left to disease. And importantly, Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah and Bobby Firmino, they're all coming into the prime of their careers right now, and that's the point in buying these guys at the right time. We want them to have their prime at Liverpool Football Club. It used to be that we bought through these players, and then when they got to the point where they were getting to world class, we'd sell. We don't need to do that anymore as a club. We're progressing on to the next level. We're going to be, or we are, a destination club. We're a Champions League winning club again. Back-to-back finals. The days of us building up players, turning them into superstars and moving them on, they should be gone. Absolutely gone, unless the manager wants to move somebody on, because we've enough money at the club right now. You have to give credit to how clever we were in going and getting these players. I mean, let's be reasonable about this. Mohamed Salah had a good season before he came here at Roma. It was alright at Fiorentina. Sadio Mane had been doing good at Southampton, but coming to Liverpool has pushed them up another level completely. And yes, you put that down to the players, but a lot of that has to go to Jurgen Klopp and his coaching and the way he set the team up to get the most out of these guys as well. So long may they stay at the club, and we want players being at Liverpool for the prime of their careers, because it's called the prime for a reason. Do you know what I mean? We need them guys here during their best years. Paul Young said Ousmane Dembele. Touched on him yesterday, mate. 90 million was the figure. Then I've seen 105 million going around today. If Jurgen Klopp felt that he could get Dembele's attitude, or maybe that he believes there isn't an attitude there with Dembele, then I would be all over it. I mean, he'd be great. Having Dembele at Liverpool would be fantastic. Jurgen Klopp would bring him on leaps and bounds, and he's an undoubted raw talent. He still is raw, as funny as that sounds to say after going to a club like Barcelona. He is still raw. He's still quite young. There's still development to be done there, and I would happily spend 90 million on Ousmane Dembele, if I'm being honest. Wouldn't have been my first, second or third choice, but if he's a player that Klopp wanted, I'd be all for it. Wan-Bissaka scored an own goal in the last minute for the under-21s. It does happen, to be fair. Happens to the best of defenders. I mean, yeah, not much you can say about that one. United had a second £50 million bid for Wan-Bissaka turned down, by the way. I don't know if they just rejigged the clauses or something on the first one, but yeah, apparently that's been turned down. And that West Ham centre-back that they're after, I think they were quoted 60 million for him. Ryan Harris said Mane is my favourite. He's been class, mate, hasn't he? I mean, he really has. Sadio Mane's been brilliant, as have Mo, as has Firmino. It's just a damn good team, to be honest. What would you do if all three wouldn't sign a new contract, Matip, etc.? With Joe Matip and James Milner, we're actually in quite a good situation, Chris, because both of them were free transfers, and whatever happens, they will have earned their wages. So, yeah, if Matip and Milner wouldn't sign a new deal, I'd just let them see out the year and wish them both the best. Origi would be the one that you'd have a bit of an issue with because he's still developing, he's still not getting to his prime yet. So, of the three of them, he'd be the one you'd probably work hardest on to keep the resale value thereof. Yeah, so that's my take on that three. But it's an interesting point, Chris. Thank you. What's this? Nick said Matt Target is a perfect replacement for Moreno. Yeah, it'd be brilliant. As soon as I heard the name, it's just a light switch went off in my head when I'd seen that link to think, yeah, that makes perfect sense because he's still doing some developing himself, so he's probably not going to expect to come in and be first choice left back. What do I think of the Brexit debate? I haven't watched it, mate. Politics isn't my cup of tea. Salah, Callum like Salah. I love Mo Salah. Klopp makes good players into world-class superstars, said Ryan, which he does. Kev has put the link into the 12men.com as well, by the way. We're going to be announcing the winner of that competition tomorrow, so we're giving away... People might know what we're on about. So the 12men.com make scarves for football fans, but they're not average scarves. They're a little bit different. They're singing scarves. You click on a part of it and it plays a song. They make scarves for different clubs with different colour motifs and stuff, different songs. If you want to go onto the 12men.com and have a look and buy one of the scarves, if you enter Anfield Agenda in the checkout code or the discount code area, you'll get 10% off, and £1 from every sale will also go to a mental health charity, which is class. I love that. But more importantly than that, we're giving away three. So we're giving away one on here, one on Twitter, and one on Instagram. And to be in with a chance to win the one on here, all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel. Simple as that. Once you hit that subscribe button, you're automatically in, and we're giving that one away tomorrow night. So make sure you're here tomorrow, and best of luck to everyone. And don't worry, if you don't win that, we're going to have more competitions coming up because I love giving stuff away. So more coming. Keep an eye out. Who's better, Trent or Wan-Bissaka? It's not even a debate, mate. Trent is infinitely better than Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka's quality, don't get me wrong, but he's not Trent quality at the moment. Still progressing though, but he's not Trent quality. Even Goldbridge, who is a staunch United fan and would probably happily have Wan-Bissaka at the club, came out and said on Twitter the other day that to compare the two is unfair because Trent is much further along, has played at a much higher level. Champions League back-to-back finalist, gone to a World Cup with England. Dembele is on ridiculous wages. He'd have to take a huge pay cut, said man with the plan. Actually, off the top of my head, mate, I don't remember what his wages are at Barcelona. Actually, I don't even remember if I ever seen them. We know Coutinho, he took a transfer cut or a wage cut to go to Barcelona, so maybe Barcelona would help ease Dembele out of the club, if you get where I'm coming from. I've no idea what his wages are though. Who do I want? Said Christine Spicer. Fekir. Fekir, Werner. I did like the idea of David Neres till I heard this over £80 million valuation, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Pepe, I know a lot of... I keep saying this. I can't give an opinion on Pepe because I don't know enough about him. And same with Fernandes, Bruno Fernandes. I don't know enough about him. So for me, Werner, Fekir... Target makes great sense at left back. I really like that idea. Vanderbeek is a Liverpool style signing, so I can understand any link there as well. 22 years of age, box to box midfielder, as I said, a potential long term replacement for Jordan Henderson and James Milner. Yeah, that's about it really. I like the idea what people have said before though about us getting that Fabinho type signing that none of us had a clue about. George said, "What do you think of Redman TV? Excellent channel. Don't know the guys personally. Done great stuff for Liverpool fans. Make good content. Yeah, nothing but love. Just waiting for a club to come in for Origi. They've done it before, Joshua. We actually turned down a couple of bids last year. Wasn't it Wolves was in for Divock Origi last year? And I think Liverpool had a valuation of him that nobody met, and hence he stayed at the club. Klopp or Dalglish? Well, it has to be Dalglish. I mean, yeah, it has to be Dalglish, but Klopp's on his way. Plus, I was very young. I didn't see Dalglish playing for Liverpool. That was before my time. I did catch Dalglish managing Liverpool, but I was very, very young. But either way, you're talking about two absolute legends. Dembele is on about 150, 160 grand a week. We could afford that. We could absolutely afford that. I think our front three are on about 200 grand a week, give or take. Now, obviously, I don't know about the bonuses and stuff, but yeah, we could afford 150, 160 grand a week. Crosby Red said, I think we have an ideal combination in midfield and Keita, Genie and attacking. Henderson should start matches, then Millie come on as a sub to put the game to bed. I'm going to the Liverpool-Arsenal game, said Sonia Ruiz. That is class. That's a really good game to get to go over to as well, Sonia. Nice one. Bring in Fernandes. Is it Minhas? Excuse me if I mispronounced your name. I know a lot of Liverpool fans are interested in that one. And on that, we spoke about the £45 million bid. Let me just check through my notes. 1 second. Oh, actually, do you know what? While I'm reading my notes, let me just take a quick second to say hello to somebody. David Carroll sent me a message yesterday to say that his mum will be celebrating her birthday tomorrow. So I just want to take a second to say happy birthday to David Carroll's mum. I'm not sure of the lady's name, but look, lots of love from all of us at Anfield Agenda. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow, and I hope your son spoils you rotten. And thank you very much, David, for getting in contact. Right, so on this one, yeah, the 45 million quid bid gone in apparently, and when I say quid I mean euro, for Bruno Fernandes. I've heard nothing since. Nothing about it being rejected, nothing about it being yes, nothing about how much we'd have to pay to get him, unless I've missed stuff today, and I probably have, because as I told you guys last week, Tuesdays is the day I go and see a psychologist, so I'm off the radar for a good chunk of the day, so I could have missed some stuff. Stevie Richards said I'd still like Depay. Not for me, mate. Just his attitude and everything I've read about him. I thought I might have been elaborating this a little bit here, or over elaborating his attitude, but everything I've read seems to suggest that it's all about me for Memphis Depay, and that he wants to be the superstar and the centre of attention, and quite simply he wouldn't be that at Liverpool. How about re-signing Coutinho? I don't think that's going to happen, Mark. He left, it was a shithouse the way he left actually, and I don't think that will have been lost on Jurgen Klopp. Right, what else have we got? Let's keep the comments coming. Boy is in, how are you, mate? Hope you're keeping well, Anthony. Any Leicester City news to keep us up to date with? Anything on Yuri Tielemans, or any more interest in Ben Chilwell, anything like that? Ola said, do you think we should be looking for an attacker when we have a major talent in Brewster? Yes, I do, but I also agree, Ola, what you've said in Ryan Brewster is a stunning talent coming through, but it's about giving him the respect he deserves, giving him the ability to flourish, but not putting too much pressure on those young shoulders, and bringing in another player to take some of that pressure off, I think would probably benefit him. There's going to be enough games for him to get game time this season. I keep coming back to this figure of a potential 72 games for the Reds. There's going to be games to share around there. Ryan Brewster will get his opportunity, and Ryan Brewster, like you, I think he'll prove himself. I think you rate the guy as well. But we still need proven quality. If you want a challenge on as many fronts as possible this year, and we've 7 potential trophies to play for, we need to have strength in depth, because our starting 11 is on par or can compete with anybody. We've seen that. But it's about the drop off then when you go to the domestic cups, or when you're stretched out in the season, you've got a big crunch of games coming together at Christmas. You look to your bench and you go, right, it's okay, we've got X and Y. But then you look at Manchester City and they've got Riyad Mahrez, they've got who else have they got? Riyad Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus, Leroy Sané, and then you think, well, therein maybe lies the difference. Do you know what I mean? Between us thinking we can make changes and hope and it works, and Manchester City being able to bring in that type of quality. And they're going to get Rodri as well from Atletico, so they ain't going to weaken themselves. So it's about making sure we can compete with them, which is a daunting task because that's a very well assembled, very good squad they've put together. But it's up to us to try and compete with that, and to do that on as many fronts as possible, you need a deep squad. Is that 45 million euro official or just a rumour? I would say big LC rumour. I would class it as a rumour coming out of Portugal. I've yet to see anything from Sporting to say that we've lost the bid. Interested in your opinion on Brendan Rodgers. It depends on what perspective you want my opinion on. If it's his time at Liverpool, nobody can take away that 13-14 season. I'm sorry, I shook my arm there. I got a shock in my hand out of nowhere for some weird reason. Nobody can take away that 13-14 season. And people can say it was down to Suarez, Sterling, it was down to Danny Sturridge, and yes, but at the same time, Brendan Rodgers gave them a platform for success with the way he set the team up. Did he make mistakes? You bet your ass he did. But he was a young coach, and we knew getting him in that this was going to be a step up for him. So, I would look back on Brendan Rodgers' time, mixed bag. Some good stuff, some really attacking football. Love the style we played at times under him. In Europe, he was left wanting a lot. And some of his decision making when it came to team selection, like Stevie G on the bench in the Bernabeu, was just ridiculous. But he learned. He's moved on. He's done well up at Celtic, but again, it's tough to gauge up there because Celtic should be winning stuff up in Scotland. And now he's gone to Leicester City, and this is a very intriguing move for him. He's got a good young crop of players there. He'll be backed by the board. And this is probably the real acid test for Rodgers to see how he can get on. What else have we got? Liam Granby said, I was thinking today about who we could bring in for a second choice keeper. I reckon Buffon would be a good shout. It would be a ridiculous shout, Limo. Do you really want Gianluigi Buffon at 41 years of age, coming in here on demanding 200 grand a week, something ridiculous like that, to be shit, which is what he is? I mean, we call a spade here. I've stated time and time again my admiration for Gianluigi Buffon. As a former keeper myself, he was a hero of mine growing up. I loved Gianluigi Buffon. But he's past it, and he's well past it. Yeah, no, not for me, mate. Will go down as one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time, in my opinion, but I don't want him at Liverpool now. If you offered me him at 35 years of age, I'd have bitten your hand off, but not now. He's way past it. Pepe Reina would make more sense to me. I don't get the Maddison chat. He's not better than Oxlade-Chamberlain. We don't need him. It would have been a good buy, Blaine, if we bought him for the 22 million that Leicester paid from last year from Norwich. Now at 60 million, whilst I do believe he's still a good player, it's more of a gamble. I think another year at Leicester will do him no harm whatsoever. Messi apparently earns £1.6 million a week. Is that true? Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous. That is crazy. That is a lot of money if that's true. What else have we got? How old is Messi? 32, I believe. Isn't he 32 and Ronaldo's 34? Have I got that one right? Okay, what else have we got? How much is Paul Pogba worth? Yeah, I had this conversation with Connor before we started the stream. Where United are getting the 150, 160 million pound valuation of Paul Pogba from is ridiculous to me. I mean, the fact they bought him for 89 million and the market's gone up, to me, doesn't make Paul Pogba suddenly worth 150 million. What has he done at United to justify that type of a price tag? Now, from United's perspective, if someone is stupid enough to give them 150 million for Pogba, I'd bite their damn hand off right now. What else we got? Neil Etheridge is sick, as in, I don't know if you mean sick as in top class or sick as in literally unwell. But either way, definitely somebody we've been linked to. So many notes to get through tonight, ladies and gents. We've done that. Done the Fekir links. Oh, did you guys see? This was brilliant. Once again, Liverpool fans have hijacked Lazio's Player of the Season vote, and Lucas Leiva was voted Lazio's Player of the Season yet again. Not just voted though. No. We absolutely, and I include myself in that because I actually voted in this one and retweeted it. We dominated that shit. Lucas Leiva won the Lazio Player of the Season vote with 94% of the 27,000 votes that were cast. 94%. I would love to know what percentage of those were Liverpool fans, but I would imagine it was a very high number. So yet again, Lucas Leiva has been voted Lazio's Player of the Season. Congratulations, Lucas Leiva, on a very well deserved award. I do love Lucas Leiva. And he signed a contract extension actually for 2 more years at Lazio, so well done to him on that as well. What have we got? Conor Murray said, Craig, I've just come in. What's this with Koulibaly? I know about Vanderbeek. I haven't heard about us being linked with Koulibaly. Yeah, it's a bullshit link. And the only reason I brought it up, Conor, was to prove and say how much of a bullshit link I believe it is, mate. £110 million move to Liverpool, according to some Italian crowd called Il Mattino. And I call it massive bullshit on that one. And to be fair, anybody that's been commenting on this on social media seems to believe the same. It's nonsense. Shay said, I'd love Timo Werner at Liverpool. So would I. Shay, at 23 years of age. He is a number 9, but he did start his career in a wide position, so I think can cover anywhere across the front three. It's gone quiet on him. There's a couple of things around him that's important to remember. One, he's German, and the idea of staying in Germany and moving to a club like Bayern Munich, where he would be fully in the bosom of his German family and in a very good position to cement his place with the national team, that's important to a lot of German guys. Bayern Munich are also in a fairly good position on this one, knowing that he's got 1 year left on his contract and he's refusing to sign a new deal with Leipzig. Ralf Rangnick has come out and said that he wants him to sign a deal with a €50 million release clause or something, which, why would you do if you're Timo Werner? It makes no fucking sense. You know you can move on next summer for free and get a massive wage, or your club sells you this year and you move on and you get the move you want anyway. So, but Munich seem to be happy to play the waiting game on him and not pull the trigger, so I'd love him, same as you. I think he could be got for a very reasonable price as well, compared to what his actual market value would be. I'm hoping we try and do something. But Rangnick is a little bit like Jean-Michel Aulas in that he likes to fucking talk, and he likes to talk about interest in his players to try and drive up that value. So the fact he hasn't been talking about us makes me think it's probably gone quiet. What do you think of Brozovic from Inter? I don't want any player from Inter Milan, mate. Not one of them. I haven't watched them play, and a fair few times this season, they're all just not good enough. I'm sorry, just not good enough. That Inter Milan team needs serious investment, and they need a clue, because they're so monotonous, so obvious, so easy to defend against, so clear in their intent in the way that they play. It is... it's just horrible to watch. Their style of football is shocking, and sorry, I don't want anybody. Icardi would have been the wild card you would have thought about, but they're just Brozovic and who's the other guy? Perisic. They scream Jose Mourinho type players to me, not Liverpool players. Sorry, I'm probably being really harsh on Inter Milan there, but that is my honest opinion on them, having watched them a fair amount this season. Neil Anthony said the Lyon friendly is that Aouar is signing after the under-21 tournament. I know we keep coming back to this friendly with Lyon, and I'm like you. I don't think it's an accident. I fully believe that there's a reason we're playing Lyon in a friendly. I don't know who it is or what it might be, but I do think it's linked to something. Gary said, fed up of transfer talk and speculation. All I want to see now is some action, meaning players coming to Anfield. Yep, I get you, mate. I get exactly where you're coming from. I've got some news though. The ticket allocation numbers have been released, so bear with me here because I'm not happy about this, so bear with me. So for the Community Shield, Liverpool fans are going to have 28,000 tickets for Wembley. So 28,000, what's Wembley? A capacity of around 90 odd thousand, isn't it? So a third. Again, what's that mean? A third for Liverpool, a third for Manchester City, and a third for the community partners and the empty fucking seat brigade, as I like to call them, because I'm sick of looking at games at Wembley and seeing the best seats in the house empty. Nothing annoys me more than that. You see a beautiful stadium, a beautiful occasion, fans at both ends, and then all the good seats, or a good section of the seats, empty. Empty. The best seats in the house, empty. Because of, what is it, Club Wembley or whatever it's called, or the corporate tickets. I'd rather they just gave them to charities, gave them to school kids, gave them to football clubs, gave them to local community trust, whatever. Just don't let them go empty. It's a joke. But the real gripe here what I have is the Super Cup allocation. I don't know if you've seen this, but Liverpool fans have been allocated, this is pathetic by the way, 5,257 tickets for the UEFA Super Cup against Chelsea. That's just you. Once again, UEFA are taking the piss when it comes to this type of shit. No doubt Chelsea will have a similar allocation, so it's not that I'm saying we're hard done by and Chelsea aren't. Both clubs will get a pathetic allocation. Now, it's in Istanbul. I don't know how much Liverpool fans would want or be willing to travel over for the Super Cup. That's an individual choice for fans. But 5,000 of a stadium that I believe is over 50,000 is bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit once again by UEFA. And I want to try and say nice things about UEFA. I spoke the other day about this concussion rule that they're bringing in. I think that's a good idea. But once again, UEFA showing they don't give a fuck about fans. They just don't. They only care about their own interests. And look, as much as I'd love to think that we'll get our tickets, Chelsea will get their tickets, and the other 40,000 is going to be full of Turkish residents who wanted to go to the game, and that'll be sound. But it won't be. It'll be media partners, sponsors, corporate bigwigs, and yes, I'm sure some local Turkish people will get tickets, and that's great. They should get tickets. It's in their country. They absolutely should be at the game and get a chance to see that event. I've no issues with that whatsoever. But UEFA being UEFA again, much like the Europa League final, much like the Champions League final, they just don't give a shit about fans. They just look after number one. And Michele Platini has been detained on suspicion of corruption. He's being held as part of an investigation into the awarding of the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. Something absolutely stinks within our sport, ladies and gentlemen, and FIFA, UEFA, and so many other federations around the world. How much corruption and shit have we seen? How many people have been prosecuted? How many offices have been raided? When it comes to football and politics mixing together, it should never happen, but it does happen. And I'm not qualified or intelligent enough to go into this in detail because I frankly don't know enough information. But Michele Platini, I believe, I didn't read this. This is just working off memory. So if I am wrong on this part, I apologise. But I'm sure I remember seeing or reading a story once about Michele Platini's son being awarded some contract to work in Qatar. Some pretty well-paying gig. And then you see Michele Platini now arrested on suspicion of corruption. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever that Qatar should have been awarded the 2022 World Cup. None. They said we'll do it in the summer, we'll do it in air-conditioned stadiums, it won't have to be moved to the winter. Surprise, surprise, it's being moved. They aren't doing it in the fully air-conditioned stadiums that were promised. Whatever your thoughts are on the human rights issues, that's again something I'm not qualified to talk about. But when we're seeing in the news yet again a beautiful, wonderful sport that we all love, and the people that are supposed to be custodians of this, FIFA and UEFA and CONCACAF and various other federations, and they're all looking out for themselves. They're all looking out after the bottom line for themselves, and it's fuck the fans, and they're just not doing a good enough job, and it needs an overhaul. And I don't know how to do it. I don't know if it needs intervention. I think it's the French government that are holding Platini, from what I'm aware. I think it was just outside Paris. Again, it stinks. Absolutely stinks. It's not looking great for the sport. I'll leave it up to you guys, but to me, this stuff pisses me off. I hate seeing our sport portrayed in a bad light, but I also can't not mention it, because you can't just hide shit. If stuff's ugly, you've got to step up and confront it and not just brush it under the carpet. And it's our sport as fans around the world, the beautiful game. They sell it as such a thing. They sell it as the fans meaning everything. They sell it as football breaking down borders, football breaking through racism, xenophobia, homophobia, religious beliefs, and none of that matters. And it should matter, because it's a sport that should bring people together through the beautiful, sexy, wonderful aspect of football. That you heard the beautiful story, I think it was around World War I or World War II, where the English and the German troops, they laid down their weapons and they had a kickabout together. Football is special. This sport needs to be treated with kid gloves. This sport needs people running it that have a genuine interest in the beautiful game, and not just in their own back pockets, and not just about emerging markets that they can cash in on. Something needs to change, and I'm hoping that something will change, because we deserve better. We deserve people better than that we currently have running the beautiful sport. Liam Granby said Maddock and Redman TV saying Liverpool not interested in a left back. Klopp believes he's got enough cover with Adam Lewis. Yeah, there's something to that. We spoke about Adam Lewis before, very highly thought of. John Barnes doing the Carabao Cup draw on Morrison's on Thursday. Right, what else have we got? Let me get to your thoughts on the whole FIFA UEFA stuff, by the way. If anybody has anything on that, please do let me know. Septic bladder has a lot to answer for. I like that, Dara. Well in. Insigne, what's your thoughts on Insigne and Fernandes? Insigne is not consistent enough to play for Liverpool. He's too selfish. The money that would take it to get him out of Napoli is too high, and I don't think it'd be worth it. Fernandes, I'm not really the right person to ask, Big LC, because I haven't seen enough of him at all. Any news on Rafa? Yes. Apparently Rafael Benitez is entertaining what was it? An £11 million. Sorry, I was doing my maths there real quick. Quick maths. An £11 million a year deal to manage in China. Now, I don't know if this is his people putting something out to try and figure out what's going on with Newcastle, but I mean that's a lot of wage, isn't it? £11 million a year, and I think in China it's tax free as well, if I'm right on that one. So yeah, that's the only bit of news I have on Rafa. Have I seen the Zaha rumours to Liverpool? Somebody mentioned them on here last night, but no, I haven't really seen them myself. Not something I've seen much of. I wouldn't mind them for the right price. UEFA are a joke, and I hope they're all found out, said Alan Parks. Want Zaha, can play for Mino's position, false 9 and on the wing, said Breadsticks. Stanis, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Mr. Clean had said, just watched England under 21. Foden's goal was Messi-esque. I didn't even see that game, mate. What was the result in that game? Would I take Zaha? Yeah, I wouldn't mind Zaha at all, to be fair. Who was it? Who was it asked me about Zaha? Sorry, I can't remember who it was. I've lost it in the chat. Anthony. Sorry, it was Anthony. Yes, I wouldn't mind him, mate, if the money was right. You could pinpoint the game out of that list title, but it takes from first loss. 97 points should win the league. Problem was the other teams didn't put up a good enough fight against City. 97 points is a crazy total. That should have won us the league, but it didn't, and we've got to move on from that and try and do it this year. FFP is the brainchild of Platini. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? And yet it isn't enforced and may not be legally enforceable. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Manchester City put up a serious legal challenge to FFP, whether it can hold up in court or not. Newcastle are getting a takeover, and I heard Mourinho's taken over. Yes, to the takeover. Did hear about Mourinho, but oh God, what a mistake that would be. Doesn't Harry Wilson act as enough load off for Brewster? I think Harry Wilson's going to go this summer, Ola, from what I've read. He's not good enough as well. I mean, I'm sorry to be really harsh about this, but the Harry Wilson that I've seen at Derby County, highlight reel goals aside, hasn't been consistent enough to warrant a place in this Liverpool team. Probably still has a couple more years development to do before we could even realistically consider putting him in, but that's just my opinion. We'd seen £20 to £25 million rumoured to be a fee. We've also heard stories that Klopp is willing to give him pre-season, which is very sensible, and let him see what he can do. I don't want to be going into this season relying on Divock Origi, Harry Wilson and Ryan Brewster. 3 young, not fully proven, although in Origi's sense a little bit more so, talents, and putting that much pressure on those 2 kids as well. They don't, as much as it's like sink or swim, they need to have time where they can be taken in and taken out and introduced slowly and pull back away, and we just don't have enough cover in the attacking positions to be able to do that yet. 2-1 to France in the England game. Wow, interesting. Pretty sure Zaha likes being top dog at Palace. Do you know what? I honestly think he wants out. I mean, he probably looks at himself and goes, I'm a Champions League player. Which he probably is, to be fair. Well, he is a Champions League quality player, and maybe he does like being top dog. I don't know, maybe he's very settled in London. I've no idea. Aziz said Zaha's an excellent player, but he's a bit of a prima donna, so might upset the dressing room. FFP, fast free pockets. What else? Would be an embarrassment to have an ex-Manc player at Liverpool. No, that's just ridiculous, mate. Well, we had Paul Ince. It didn't work out great, but I wouldn't say it was an embarrassment to have him here. If a player is good enough, I don't give a shit if you played for United before, potentially. Honestly, I don't care. I just want somebody that have the right attitude to come into this club and do what's asked of them and put in 100% every week. That's all I'd ask of a player. It's like this content that somebody supports this club growing up. I don't really give a shit about that personally. I just want the right player at the club. We've outgrown Wilson. Under Rodgers he would have been good enough, said Kieran Singh. Just joined the Koulibaly, just paper talk, right? I would go even further than that, Patrick. I would say it's fish and chip wrapper talk, mate, and complete nonsense. Okay, what else have you guys got for me? UEFA don't even turn up at the Court of Arbitration for sport hearings. Well, that's the thing, mate. The thing with FFP now is if Manchester City are chucked out of the Champions League, and Manchester City then take that to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, this will be the pinnacle of whether FFP can stand up in court or not. Because if Manchester City go on and win their case, then FFP needs to be scrapped because it's not enforceable, and it will be clearly not enforceable. We've seen already stuff with AC Milan where they had their ban overturned by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and if Manchester City's is overturned, what's the point of it? They're right. We need to know what the parameters are. If FFP isn't workable, then it's every club for themselves, and Manchester City and PSG can continue to go around doing what they're doing, and none of us can say anything to them because they're working within the rules. If FFP is enforceable, and Manchester City or Paris Saint-Germain or Liverpool or Manchester United or whoever the hell it is found in breach of those rules, then there needs to be repercussions and those rules need to be enforced. That's all any of us really want out of this, is to know what the playing field is. At the moment, FFP is just this great theory that none of us know if it's legally enforceable or not. And it's going to be very interesting to follow this situation. I keep coming back to Manchester City here like I just want to pick on them. I don't, but it genuinely is that they're going to be the ones that will give this the bigger challenge. This will probably be the test case that we'll see if FFP is feasible or not. Ziyech is a bargain to Billy Donnelly. He would be very reasonable price that you've seen mentioned for him. Eriksen, Billy Donnelly mentioned him as well. Yeah, I'd seen some stuff on Christian Eriksen. There has been some tentative links for him in Liverpool. He turned down any potential move to Manchester United, and look, quite frankly, at this stage of his career with United where they are, could you blame him? It's not the right club for him at this moment in time. United have a big rebuilding job to do, and he's 28 years of age in his peak, and he's going to want to be playing Champions League football, which he would have at Spurs, but he's in a good position in that he's got 1 year left, and it's just a matter, if we really would have an interest in him, what would Levy sell him for? I don't know, but would I take him? 100%. Christian Eriksen's a quality footballer. The Virtual Teleporting Company, what a name that is. Ligt or Koulibaly. If it was a straight choice, Ligt, because you've got a future there. But yeah, nah, I don't think we're in for either. Thank you for deleting David Lowen's comment, mate. I would go and have a rant at him, which I usually would, but at the end of the day, he's calling people out, he's calling people names, and he's the one here watching our channel. Do you know what I mean? So, get a fucking life, David, is what I'd say to you, mate. Real Madrid 303 million plus, Hazard 150 million, said Mr. Cleaner. Liverpool has to spend 250 million to seriously challenge Manchester City. No, we don't. You've literally just plucked that figure out of your arse, mate. Mo Salah will never repeat the season. We need top money for him. You're the type of fan that I fucking hate, you know that? Just let's pull a figure out of our arse, throw money at the situation. So right, if we went and spent 250 million tomorrow on Wilfried Zaha, would that sort out your problem? Because we spent the money you've asked us to spend. It doesn't matter how we invest that money, or if it's invested wisely, or if we get players cheaper. You just say, spend 250 million and fuck off Mo Salah, because he's never going to have the impact that he had the season before when he scored the 40-something goals. Motherfucker, he just won the Champions League. He just won the Champions League. He was Golden Boot winner with Sadio Mane and Aubameyang yet again. And you want to move him on because he's finished. Shut up. You're talking complete bollocks. And like, quite frankly, fans like you are fucking embarrassing for those of us that have any resonance of reality in our brains. Like, just stop. Just stop with your stupidity. Literally pulled a figure out of your arse and said that's what we need to spend to compete with Manchester City. We need to spend to compete with City to an extent, but we need to spend cleverly, and we need to bring in the right type of player that has the right type of attitude to play under Jurgen Klopp. Where you got your number from is just, I don't know, let's just pull a figure out my arse to try and sound intelligent. Just stop, mate. Just stop. It's just embarrassing. Just got in, seen we're linked to Vanderbeek. Really hope it's true. Donny will be my number one pick from Ajax at Kieran Aaron. Yeah, very tenuous links though, mate, in that there's a lot of Premier League clubs interested in him. But like you, I think he'd be a very clever piece of business. And 22 years of age could come in and, as I said, fill in then Jordan Henderson, James Milner, Henderson 29, Milner 33, I think. Good understudy as well, good potential. Unpopular opinion, said Tom Jones. I think Dortmund will win the Bundesliga next year. It couldn't be that unpopular an opinion, mate. They should have won it this year, but they bottled it, if we're being frank about it. And they've done really, really well. They've invested very wisely. The money they got for Pulisic, they spent on Hazard and who was the other kid they got? They got three in, didn't they? They got Hazard in, and they got what's his face in from Bayer Leverkusen, Julian Brandt, and somebody else who I can't remember. But very clever investment. That's why they say these things, Craig, just to get a reaction, 10 seconds of fame. Yeah, but sometimes I want to give them it for a while, to be honest, mate, because I need to get this shit out of my system as well. And I'd much rather take it out on an idiot than somebody I genuinely respect and like in the chat, because I would feel bad about that if I had to go at you, say, for a while, which of course I'd never do. I'd feel really bad about that. But these people that want their 10 seconds of fame, to be honest, sometimes I have a shitty day as well, and I like to get stuff out of my system, and if I can unload on a troll, then it's a win-win for everybody, I think. What's going on with the Mbappe move? It won't happen. Connor, mate, he's staying by the looks of it. Liverpool could possibly top City without spending a penny. Look at what Spurs achieved, said Alan Phillip. I think we do need to strengthen, because City are going to sign in Rodri for 70 odd million. Now they lost Vincent Kompany, but they're probably replaced there. There's talk of João Felix as well. We do have to spend, but not just 250 million for the sake of it. It's about just little incremental increases. We're not too far off. We've done all the heavy lifting. We've brought in the Fabinhos, we've brought in the Virgil van Dijks, we've brought in the Sadio Manes, the Mohamed Salahs, the Alisson Beckers. We've done the heavy lifting. Now it's just about little tweaks, little bit of strength in depth, and making sure we've got consistency. And wholesale changes don't give you consistency. Jurgen Klopp knows he's working with a young squad that hasn't even reached its potential yet. Champions League winners, and it's frightening to say they haven't even reached their potential yet, and we haven't. Don't let trolls wind you up. They don't wind me up, mate, honestly. As soon as I get my little rant out, it's gone, forgotten about it. Don't give them a second thought. I think we need a world-class midfielder. In what extent, though? To what extent? Are we talking about a number 6? Are we talking about a box-to-box? Or are we talking about an attacking midfielder? Because we have world-class midfielders. We have Fabinho. We have Keita, who I would class as a world-class midfielder. Although I will say he's yet to fully show that in the Premier League. I absolutely get that. Jordan Henderson, how could you not call him a world-class midfielder? He just won the Champions League playing in midfield. James Milner, same thing, very polished. But I'm not knocking what you're saying, mate. I just, I want to know where you're going with this and what position. Felix is going to Atletico Madrid. Yeah, see, that was the big headline story last night, and I used headline because it's actually not true. He may go there, but the way some people were talking here last night, everything was agreed. And I came out today and read something from Benfica saying that that's absolutely not true. There has been no agreement in place with Atletico Madrid for João Felix to go there. So, again, something to keep in mind. They could afford him. They could afford him if they sell. It looks like they're going to sell, what's his face, to Barcelona, Griezmann, and they're going to sell Rodri. So they will have money. So they could go and drop 105 million on him and bring him over. So I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying it's not nailed on like some people believed last night. Okay, what else have we got? Vanderbeek info, gone through it a few times, but happy to do it one more time for you, my friend. Bear with me 1 second. So Dutch football expert Marcel van der Kraan, and I hope I pronounced his name right, but I'm sure I haven't, has stated that Liverpool are one of a number of clubs that have scouted Ajax midfielder Donny van de Beek, as per an article on Sky Sports. Van der Kraan has named Liverpool alongside Spurs, United, Everton and Newcastle as having had scouts present at the Amsterdam Arena to watch the midfielder in action. The 22-year-old is also thought to prefer a move to the Premier League over Serie A or the Bundesliga. It makes sense, as I said in the stream title tonight. That makes sense. 22, box-to-box midfielder, attacking looking midfielder as well. Yes, give me that. That's the type of player I'd like to see us linked to. Kent and Ojo to Rangers. The Kent thing I hadn't seen, as in confirmed. Ojo to Rangers has been confirmed, by the way. He has signed a year-long loan to go up and play under Stevie G at Rangers. Ryan Kent's, they want him back 100%, but I think Kent said that he wants his future sorted and he wants a move, a proper move, and not just another loan. So he'd been linked to Leeds, he'd been linked to Middlesbrough, he'd been linked to Aston Villa, and I think there was one more club, or maybe Rangers was the other club, mate. Stevie G, by the way, while we're talking about Rangers and Steven Gerrard, did you guys see that apparently Derby County have approached Steven Gerrard about potentially becoming the new Derby County manager should Frank Lampard go to Chelsea? And the Times report that Gerrard has turned down that offer because he's going to stay at Rangers for the time being. So again, a little bit of news on Stevie G. I know we spoke about him recently with regards to what's going to happen with Jurgen Klopp if he leaves in 2022 and what potential manager we might have to come in. Hello, I see some new people have joined in as well. Hello to you all, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I don't think I've done a shout out for subs yet on this stream, which you guys know me, that's pretty fucking unheard of. If you are watching the stream, ladies and gents, and you're enjoying it, please do hit that subscribe button, and of course drop a thumbs up. Our thumbs up numbers have been brilliant lately, so thank you so much to everyone that is hitting that button. It only takes a second, but you know what, it looks great, and the more thumbs up, the more comments in the streams, the more I think it helps us push the stream out there and get to more reds. I'll give my left bollock for United to be back dominating world football. Yeah, it's not a nice position to be in, MUFC Gamer. We were in your very position a few years back for a while, and you have a few false dawns, and it's difficult. But to be brutally honest with you, mate, if I'm a United fan right now, and thank heavens I'm not, I'd be a bit worried because I'm seeing, is it Steve Walsh? Is that the guy? I'm seeing him linked as the director of football. I've seen Ferdinand linked as director of football. It wouldn't fill me full of confidence. I'm also hearing things like, seeing articles saying Ed Woodward has ripped up the transfer strategy and is starting an all new one, bringing in the best young attacking talent and the best young footballers, which is good. That's good to an extent. It's good if you get it right. But if you put your future on these young players and it doesn't happen, or Daniel James doesn't turn into be the next, I don't know, Ryan Giggs, or you go and sign Longstaff and he doesn't come through, that transfer strategy can very quickly come back to bite you in the ass. And your manager is unproven, and you have a manager there now that he's saying the right things. He wants young, hungry players that want to come prove themselves, they want to do well for the club. And I've no doubt that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has Manchester United's best interests at heart, and that he's die-hard. I get that. Doesn't mean he's good enough, though. Not for the position you're in right now. You need a Jurgen Klopp. You need what you thought you might have been getting with Jose Mourinho, but actually somebody who gives a fuck about the future of the club. You need somebody to come in there with a vision for the next 5, 6, 7 years, and he needs to be backed. He needs to have proven potential or proven track record of what he's done. And Jurgen Klopp, pretty much along with the owners, nearly single-handedly turned this football club of ours around. And you need that right now. And all the right stuff and all the money that you guys have and the selling Paul Pogba's and getting rid of Alexis Sanchez and all that stuff, it's great in theory. But you still need to reinvest an awful lot. And I think, opinion on where United are at right now. Craig, a fit Lallana would be an advantage with all these extra games. It would be, Stevie, but age is catching up with him. I think we've moved a little bit past Adam Lallana with where we are as a club and the level we're playing at. But he is a good footballer. He's a as Brendan Rodgers would say, he's a wonderful technician. But injuries have caught up with him. And if he can put in an injury-free season, then we could be sitting here next summer eating our word. I could be eating my words and saying, well, wasn't I wrong about Adam Lallana? I'd love to be. I just don't know if it's going to be the case. Anthony Cronin said, I remember when we were linked to Lanzini. I'm very strongly linked, mate. Was it his ACL he did before the World Cup? And I actually asked this question on Twitter the other day. Had anybody seen any new links to us to Manuel Lanzini? Because he came in and he's played the second half of the season, I think, for West Ham. I don't know if he lit up the league or not. I didn't really watch him too much, but I haven't seen much about it. Matic to sign a 12-month contract extension at United. Yes, I did read that one as well, which, again, if you're a United player, meh. Blaine, I'm not sure if that's aimed at me, mate. You say, yeah, not what I was asked. What's your point? I don't know if you're talking to me, mate, or you're having a conversation with somebody else. Either way, I don't know what you're talking about. Mbappe coming to Anfield to Elroy 420. I wish so, my friend, but it realistically probably won't happen. Aaron Justin said, just back from a run for boxing. How late am I? We've got about 35 minutes left to go, Aaron, mate. But well into you, mate. Nice one. Keeping yourself fit. Good man. Like it. Daniel James is good signing for United. Fit right in with the rest of the bollocks there is there still playing. United could have had a Pochettino. Thank God for that. Ollie went there. Yeah, I mean, genuinely, if United had got Pochettino, I'd be worried right now. I would. I'd be more worried about them than I am underneath Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yeah, long may that continue. Can I see Trent being a midfielder? Oh God, we must have spoken about this 10 times, mate. And I know you must have been in for them, Anthony, mate, because you're here all the time. But yeah, he could be a midfielder. He could be a good midfielder, but he could be a better right back and will be a better right back. And I think that's where his future lies. But again, you're talking about a player who's still really young, so who knows where he goes in 5 or 6 years. Mbappe followed a load of Liverpool players. I think it was 3. Donald, I could be wrong on that. And look, mate, I would love to be sitting here realistically talking about Kylian Mbappe coming to Liverpool. I even tried to piece it together the other night by saying, well, maybe Nike could be making our kits next season, not the one coming, the following one. And maybe Nike will have something to say about it, and maybe Nike can help ease that deal together, and maybe the kit deal could help pay for it. And I was trying to put it together in my head bit by bit, and it was a stretch. It really was a stretch. As much as I'd love Kylian Mbappe here, and I would take him in a heartbeat, I would fucking swim to France to get him. I just don't think it's going to happen. Bernadette Farrell said, Craig, our owners are supposed to operate the Moneyball system and they need a manager like Klopp to work. I think they've done a fantastic job. Yeah, we're going to actually do a segment on the owners and that kind of, to use a vague term, Moneyball stuff, Bernadette, and how that's adapted since they've come here. Brian put that into the WhatsApp group as a segment we're going to record really soon. So we'll go into that in more detail, Bernadette, because it needs a proper bit of research and it needs us to do our homework before we talk about it. But they absolutely have done great stuff since they've come, and what they've shown, Bernadette, is that they've learned along the way, which I think is really important. Klopp could stop tearing up the bus. It's already been a roller coaster ride, said UK lad. Quick recap. I will go through it, mate, in a little bit, if that's alright. Just give me 2 minutes. Isco, said Florence Marks. Good player. Seems to be linked every year to move away from Real Madrid. I don't know if he's right for us, though. I don't know. I'm always nervous about players like that haven't worked out at a club like Madrid, as to why they haven't worked out under various different managers. So I would say no, from me anyway. And I would also say no to Asensio for the 80-85 million he'd been linked at. Chris Powell said, spot on, Craig, United are way off. Is Ollie the right man? Only time will tell. The United fans I talk to and the players they think are going to get this window makes me laugh. Do you know what? It's been kind of a refreshing period to be interacting with United fans, because it's probably the most down-to-earth and realistic conversations I've had with United fans in many, many years. And it's almost as if coming down a peg or two has made them appreciate the good times and made them see maybe how well what we've done is. And yeah, it's been quite enjoyable, apart from taking the piss out of them failing. They've been a lot more affable, is that the right word? What else have we got? Would you take Coutinho back? No, mate, not unless it was for a really, 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 really reduced fee. And Jurgen Klopp wanted him because, as I said before, the way he left this club and him trying to get senior players to help ease his transfer out of the club, I think was the final straw for Jurgen Klopp. So I'd be amazed if Klopp wanted him back first and foremost. Right, so what's that one? Arctic Chill asked for a recap. No problem, mate. So Koulibaly was linked at 110 million. Let's file that in the bullshit cabinet. That's not happening. Vanderbeek was one of Liverpool were one of a few clubs, I should say, linked with Donny Vanderbeek. Apparently he prefers a move to the Premier League over Serie A. The Bundesliga, Spurs, United, Everton and Newcastle also had sent scouts to the Amsterdam Arena to watch him. This one I would pay a little bit of attention to. Makes sense from a Liverpool perspective. What else have we done? Fekir has gone quiet. Jean-Michel Aulas came out and said that he could leave this summer. We spoke about the ticket allocation for the European Super Cup and the Community Shield. What was it for the Community Shield? It was 28,000 tickets for the Reds for the Community Shield and just 5,000 tickets, 5,257 tickets for the UEFA Super Cup, which is again a joke. Also, Stevie G turned down the chance to go to Derby County and possibly take over from Frank Lampard if he goes to Chelsea. I think that's it. Oh, Shea Ojo has been confirmed that he's joined Rangers on a season-long loan. I think that's roughly all the news we've covered so far. Have you guys seen the third kit leaked images? And they are up on footy headlines now, which makes me think, unfortunately, this is the right kit. The first time I seen it, I really didn't like it. Then I kept coming back to it. And I don't know if other people sort of liking it has changed my opinion of it a little bit. And it's always better to see the actual kit or see the real professional images of this kit before making a decision. But I still say it's not great, and I still say that they could have done better. And I think just a simple black and teal shirt. I'm not sure why the standard chartered is white on the kit that's been leaked. For me, that should have been teal, which is the bluey colour. The pattern, I just don't fucking... The pattern was one of those that, like on the away shirt, if it had have been less pronounced and a little bit more subtle, maybe it would have worked. But I'm not... I don't know if I'll buy it, because I had it in my head I wanted to buy whatever the third kit was going to be, because I didn't like the away one. And by not liking the away one, I just mean it's white and I don't look great in white kits, so I wouldn't buy a white kit really, unless there was that Germany one I own, which I like. So yeah, that's my opinion on it, but I'd love to know what you guys think of the proposed third kit. It's horrible, said Ben. I love the third kit, said Stephen Richards. Is that white one the third kit? No, the white one, Lunatic, is the away kit. The third kit is black and like a bluey greeny colour. I believe it's called teal. Yeah, that's apparently it. If you go on footyheadlines.com, they have it up there. I think it was one of the leading stories on the site. Ella said, don't really like the third kit. The third kit looks sick, said Callum. Do you remember the Thomas Lemar transfer news? News or the story? I remember the story around Thomas Lemar before he went to Atletico. I mean, yeah, it was... There were stories coming out of France that we'd offers accepted. It was 90 million. It was between us and Arsenal, I think, at the time. Loads of people went and said that it was going to happen. That's the kind of story I remember, mate, at the time. Red Hulk said, I like the kits this season. The details on the shirts are good. Just seen a leaked photo on Instagram on the LFCT page with Mbappe. It's completely fake, mate. It's a very good Photoshop, Arctic Chill, but it is fake. What else have we got? Oh, AMR01. Nothing like a little bit of racism as well, mate. I mean, just to prove that you're a prick, just come in with a bit of racism as well. Add to that the fact that I know I'm fat, I know I'm bald. You telling me that isn't a surprise to me, mate. Now go and get your little todger out and look at some porn or do something productive with your fucking time, rather than coming in with your racist comments, you horrible little fuck. I missed the classic yellow kit, said Tom Jones. Yeah, it seems like a missed opportunity this year, doesn't it? With the beautiful home red kit with the pinstripes, that we wouldn't have seen a nice yellow kit with red pinstripes. I think that would have been really good this season. The third kit looks like Tool's and Enema album cover. What was this? Somebody sent me an image and said it looked like some dude on a bike. I don't know what it's called. My wife recognised what it was, but I don't remember what it is. I'm trying to go through and find the picture here, my notifications on Twitter. Some dude on a bike. I don't remember what it was called. Where is it? Yeah, no, I can't find the notification. Must have had too many notifications today. There it is, yeah. Tron, apparently, is the name of the thing I was trying to think of. Liam Granby, actually. Thank you, Liam. You sent me something really interesting on Twitter, and I just remembered it now when I seen the image. So there has been some stats released for arrests due to racism from 2014-15 to 2017-18. And this actually does make for interesting reading, because a lot of the times we've seen instances around racism lately had been London-based. And that's not me just pulling stuff out my arse. Think about it. The stuff with Aubameyang and the banana, the stuff with Raheem Sterling, the stuff with the PSG fan on the train, a lot of it had been around London. Now, these stats actually are interesting. So, the club with the most arrests for racist behaviour, or racism arrests, I should say, were Manchester United, with 27. Next on the list were Leeds United with 15, Millwall with 15, Leicester City with 14, Chelsea with 13, and West Ham with 11. I don't know what to take from those stats. They are just numbers that were reported in the media. I'm not having a go at Manchester United because they're top of that list. You could say that Manchester United have a bigger stadium, more fans in, therefore they're more likely to possibly have more racist arrests or more dickheads. The more people, the more dickheads. Probably. I'm not qualified to talk about that, but it is something that Liam sent me and I thought we should touch on a little bit. Hey Craig, are we really linked to Neres? Sort of, Samuel, but then there was a story came out yesterday that said Ajax are only willing to entertain figures of 80 million or more. I think that came from a journalist from a Dutch newspaper called De Telegraaf, like DE Telegraaf, with like 2 A's and an F at the end, I think. When we win the league, everybody will love the kid, said Man with the Plan. Yeah, you're probably true on that one. I love Craig kicking off at trolls. See, me and Brian Morrissey have a little system in place to deal with trolls. He deletes them, and then I check, and if I think it's worth having a go at them, I'll have a go at them. But I know by him deleting them that I'll click on it because I can still see the deleted comments and then decide whether it's worth addressing or not. Me and Brian have this shit worked out. What about loaning out Brewster? It won't happen, mate. Because Jurgen Klopp, 1, he believes in that kid entirely. 2, he will want to guide and help guide young Ryan Brewster's career at Liverpool. And he will get game time as well. So we fought so hard to get him to sign that professional contract that normally I would agree. Normally you would loan out a young player, but I think Brewster is a kid Klopp wants to take under his wing and work with at the club. What else we got? Is that the rapping Irishman said low intelligence? Not sure if you're talking to me there, mate, but you know, if you are talking to me, probably true. But I don't know if you were talking about the racist thing or you're talking about me. What else we got? Why do some humans think we're better than other humans because of the colour of their skin? It's sickening, mate, to be fair. Judging people by the colour of their skin, their religious belief, sexual orientation, football club they support, anything. Judging anybody for any one thing is ridiculous. The only way to judge somebody is by getting to know them and then deciding if they're an asshole or not. And their political beliefs, religious beliefs, colour of their skin, sexual orientation, none of that should matter when you're getting an opinion of somebody. You should only form an opinion when you know somebody or when you chat to somebody. I try and give everybody the benefit of the doubt at least once. And then if they act like an asshole, I'll call them out for being an asshole. Not because of anything other than the fact they're being an asshole. But yeah, I don't get it either. It baffles me. That's not the best metric to use in my opinion, said Brian. With regards to racism, 100%, mate. And then there's people, as I always say about many topics on here, infinitely better qualified and placed than me to talk about stuff like this. It was just one thing that was sent that I thought I'd address. Okay, what else have we got? What's happening with Grujic? You've seen various reports, Florence, on 45 million to Atletico. That was one thing. Another one was a couple of German clubs, Eintracht Frankfurt, Werder Berlin and Hertha Berlin, had been linked with Werder Bremen, and Eintracht Frankfurt, Werder Bremen, I'm getting myself mixed up here, and Hertha Berlin had been linked with moves from for 20 to 25 million quid. Then you'd seen other stuff that suggests Liverpool want to loan him out to a club playing in European competition next year. So the truth is, Florence, as things stand, I genuinely have no idea. But I do like Marco Grujic and I do think he has a future in the game, a good future in the game. Mark Hendley said, can't wait to see Brewster, what a talent. Hello, my bald comrade. How are you, Mr. Stalin? Great to see you in, mate. Always appreciate you dropping in. GTM said, Klopp has serious belief in Brewster. Oh, the racists, the rapping Irishman. Sorry, mate. Yeah, it's just sad, isn't it, mate? I didn't think you were talking about me, which is why I held back. And how could I get angry at a man with a name like the rapping Irishman? It's just something I want to know more about. We need more rapping Irishmen, because this Irishman ain't going to rap anytime soon. What else we got? Craig, I'm getting the away kit with Trent Alexander-Arnold on the back. Nice one. Good choice, Adam. Love it. The leak is probably fake. Yeah, see, that's the thing, mate. Once it gets onto footy headlines, it's usually right. Which is, I suppose, worrying if you don't like this kit like me. Yeah, footy headlines have been pretty on the money with their stuff. Now look, they didn't release it originally. I think it came out on Instagram or somewhere. Someone got a picture of it, but I'd love it to be fake. I'd love there to be a better version of this kit, because I've seen a mocked up version of the black and teal kit somebody made on Twitter, and it was much nicer. Cam Vlogs, how are you, buddy? I hope you're having a good day as well. Matt Target and Alex McCarthy links, right, Billy? The Alex McCarthy links have been rubbished by the Echo, Billy. And somebody said that, who was it? They said, was it David Maddock that they said was on Redmen TV or something, or on the Anfield Rap? I don't know which one he was on. And apparently he had said that we're not interested in bringing in a left back, that Jurgen Klopp believes that he's got enough cover there with Adam Lewis. And for me, Matt Target would be a good option if Klopp wanted to dip into the market and get a left back. But I do also agree with what David Maddock said, is that the club do rate Adam Lewis very highly. And he's a very good set piece taker as well, Adam Lewis. Stevie Richard said, Craig, Vanderbeek looks like Bergkamp. Yeah, he looks Dutch, doesn't he, to be fair. Tom Jones, talk to you soon, mate. Rodri looks like a good signing for City, unfortunately, said Peter van der Schanz. Yeah, they have to pay the 70 million release clause, but it is what it is. Yeah, they go about and do their business, and look, let's just wait and see what happens. Who should I get on my kit? Oh, mate, I don't like giving people answers to those things. Completely up to you. If I was getting a name on the back of a kit this year, with the players we currently have, I'd probably go for Robertson, because I love Andy Robertson. Krishna said, the chain reaction of the higher transfer fees, even Eintracht Frankfurt, West Ham and Crystal Palace do not need to sell. Yeah, and Eintracht Frankfurt will be in the Champions League this year, so they will have that money as well. The TV money, though, for Premier League clubs is crazy, which is why you're saying there about West Ham and Palace. Vanderbeek is a clone of young Gerrard, said Eric Worry. Epic, get Hendo on the back, said Lee. Good show. I had Hendo on the back of a season or a shirt a few seasons ago. When do we think big screens will be installed at Anfield? Now, this is something that we kind of touched on a few days ago, because VAR will be shown, or VAR reviews or VAR replays will be shown in Premier League grounds this season. Problem being, as Adam Park said, Anfield don't have a big screen. So what do we do there? Where do we put the big screen? Do we wheel it in and put it in a corner somewhere? I don't know, but yeah, it is something that I'd like to see what the solution is going to be to this. Craig, not Liverpool related. What are your thoughts on Lampard signing for Chelsea, as rumours he's going to sign a 3-year deal? It's very difficult to know. Frank Lampard, what I'll always say about Lampard, he's a very intelligent man. He really is. He's no fool. I mean, footballers at times often have a bit of stigma around them that they're not the most intelligent people in the world. Frank Lampard's a very intelligent man. He's done a decent job at Derby County. From his perspective, being a legend at Stamford Bridge, if the job gets offered to him, it will be extremely difficult for him to turn it down. He's unproven, but I can understand it. I can understand it from Chelsea's perspective. They went for Sarri. Whether it worked out or not, I don't know, because he won them a trophy, got them back into the Champions League, got them to another final. That I would consider that as a pretty decent season, but he's moved on to Juventus. Yeah, it seems that they want to bring back use the kind of boot room mentality, to use a Liverpool expression there. And Lampard, he'd be alright. It'd be interesting. They could have made a lot worse appointments. Brian Morrissey said, I'm genuinely proper excited about a player for the first time in a long time with Brewster. Prepared to have my heart broken. There's just something about that kid. He oozes class. I'm with you, Brian. I'm with you. I've said that many times as well. The fact Jurgen Klopp fought so hard to get him to sign his first professional contract here at Liverpool, yeah, screams volume, or says volumes about how highly regarded he is. Vanderbeek means the stream of hope he flows, or it means this, or excuse me, I'm going to try that again, Peter, because I've ruined it. Vanderbeek means of the stream hope he flows through many a defence, said Peter. Thank you, mate. Sorry I ruined it for you the first time. John Cable said, and then they won't allow you into the ground until after the match when we've put the stage up, so I had to sit in the car park for 14 hours. I don't know what that's about, but either way, mate, that sounds like shit. Sitting there for 14 hours. Klopp's going down to Argos to get a 65-inch telly, said Lunatic. There you go. I hope you get, a good deal on it. I hope he has one of those deals where, if you spend £100, you get a tenner voucher. We could use a massive drop-down projector screen right in front of the away fans. Would be ideal. The third kit is horrible, said Susan Cox. I'm not a fan of it, Susan, but I'll probably fucking buy it, if I'm being honest, because I won't buy the away one. Lampard ain't stupid, but a move to Chelsea would be a stupid move for him at this point in his career, said John Hamilton. Pitside VAR would be cool. Look forward to that, said Sean. I thought Kepa was in charge. Oh, you guys have a great sense of humour. You always make me smile. What else we got? Let me just look through my notes because I'm always so worried I've forgotten something. Platini done that. Derby done that. Third kit done that. Yeah. I think I've gone through all of my notes, which is great, and we still have 15 minutes to spare, so have at it, ladies and gents, for the last 15 minutes. Any topics you want to talk about, put them in the chat and we'll try and get through them. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ladies and gents, if you are enjoying the stream and you haven't yet subscribed. Is that Dara O'Brien? It is, Andy. Couldn't have talk to, my friend. Hi Craig, give us your honest opinion on what Arsenal really need to be able to compete in the top four. Midfielders and defenders. Amadou is my honest opinion. I would say a goalkeeper, but I don't know if they'll be able to dip into the transfer market. I'm not convinced by Leno. But yeah, midfielders and defenders, mate, for me. They have a good manager. If he was backed, I would say he would do quite well there. Not getting Champions League money will probably have a massive impact on what he can do in this transfer window, but he's a good manager, Unai Emery. Kev said Brewster's father reckons that he's ready, and it's so great to see that he has such belief in his son. You'd hope to see that, of course. Someone said Old Trafford might have better security, so I was explaining what they work at Old Trafford where they don't let you in the ground all day. Oh, thank you, John. Appreciate that, mate, because sometimes I just get lost. Other people are having conversations and I just pick out a comment and it doesn't make sense to me. Any more news on Pepe? No, not that I've seen, mate. It's gone very quiet on Pepe, very quiet on Timo Werner, very quiet on Nabil Fekir, and take from that what you want. It's just gone quiet on those three. Imagine Brewster and Dembele as backup, said Jack's Page. That'd be class, wouldn't it? Would I sell Salah for Mbappe? Yes, Donald, I would. I know we had this conversation last night and we were kind of split on it. Some people said they would, some people said they wouldn't, and I can understand an argument for either. For me, as I've said, you could look back in streams from a month ago. I said Kylian Mbappe is probably the only player that I would sell Mohamed Salah for. And it's very difficult for me to even say the phrase sell Mohamed Salah because I really, really love Mo. But Kylian Mbappe, I think he is the next best player in the world. And the fact that he's still so young, it's frightening what that kid could do. He's probably the only player I would. But I'd rather we bought him and didn't sell Mo Salah. That would be a better scenario. What about the trend the Echo's reporting about most of our signings coming in August? Edwards all over it, announced them all in August. I don't know. I didn't see that, mate. I didn't see the Echo today, but as long as they're announced, as long as they're brought in, that's sound. United offering Mata a 2-year deal at 31. I thought it was just a 1-year deal, Sean, from what I've seen on Sky earlier on anyway. Craig, talk about your proposed mohawk when we win next season. Yeah, I threatened to do that this year, mate, if we won the league, and then tried to grow my hair for a little bit, if you remember, and realised that I have a little few ball patches at the back. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in denial as I was, I don't think I could actually grow a red mohawk, because I don't know if this part would have enough fucking hair, if I'm being honest, mate. I still can't believe how this season finally came good, since the Barca game would have been so shite if we got nothing. Yeah, it's amazing. What a turnaround from that Monday night when Vincent Kompany scored that goal against Leicester to the following night when we knocked Barca out after winning 4-0, mate. It was like our entire season encapsulated in one crazy 2-day period. And then we went on to lift the Champions League, for those of you that maybe that don't know. Of course, everybody knows. All opposition fans are sick of hearing us talking about the number 6. But it is a wonderful number, if you think about it, really. I mean, it's bigger than 5. It's twice as many as 3. And it's 6 times more than 0. Well, 6 times more than 1, actually. Yeah, it's a nice number, isn't it? 6, when you think about it, really. I mean, of all the European Cups, having 6 of them together, it's just lovely. It's a nice round number. 5 was so passe, so last year. 6 is where it's at. 6 is where the real ballers at. And I can see AC Milan fans going, fuck you, 7. And then Real Madrid fans going, fuck you, 13. Yeah, I know, but let us have this bit of bragging for a while. Would like to see Curtis Jones as well? Yeah, again, pre-season will be interesting for him. Pre-season will be. He's a great pre-season last year, Curtis Jones. Really impressive. Him and Nabil are probably the standouts. What about red eyebrows? Well, you made a mistake there, Bernadette, straight away. I have one eyebrow, as you can clearly tell, my friend. I don't know anything about dyeing eyebrows, Bernadette. It's I also don't know if my wife will be willing to walk around with her husband outside with red eyebrows. But we can, if Liverpool look like they're going to win the Premier League, we can discuss a forfeit. I'm up for you guys. How about this? How about I do this, right? If Liverpool win the Premier League next year, if we're looking likely, if we're looking there or thereabouts, I'll pick out 4 things. So we'll take 4 suggestions from the chat of potential forfeits for me if Liverpool win. And I want one done for Connor as well, because he ain't getting away with this scot-free. And then we'll put that vote up on Twitter, and whatever people vote, if Liverpool win the league, I will carry through that forfeit. Is that fair enough? I'm always up for a laugh. I'm always up for doing stuff as well. And if Liverpool win the league, quite frankly, I wouldn't care what I had to do. I'd be too happy. Sign Kai Havertz, Marvel King. It looks like they're going to keep him for another season at Leverkusen. And he'll probably move on to Bayern Munich, if the truth be told. Connor said that wouldn't be a problem. Craig never leaves the house anyway. Motherfucker, I leave the house when I have a reason to leave the house. Every time I leave the house, I end up spending a stupid amount of money, mate. So I try to limit it. Plus, I don't like human beings, usually, to be fair. Much nicer to interact like this than actually physically have to go out there and see other people. Have I ever been invited to Melwood? No. But I'd love it, mate. If anybody's out there wants to offer me and Connor a little trip to Melwood, please do. Breaking, Barca close to signing Neymar for 89 million. Well, that has to be false. There's no way that Neymar is only going to cost 89 million quid. Surely there has to be something else to that one, Phil. A player or something involved, because 89 million seems very, very cheap for, well, look, who is a diving, rolling around diva at the end of the day, but still, somebody who was bought for 200 million or something. It's ridiculous like that, was it? Red pubes, said John Cable. Again, John, mate, you're presuming I've got pubes there? How do you know I'm not manscaped down there? Do you know what I mean, pal? Look at the head, that might give you a clue. God, this stream goes to weird places. Do a stream in a funny hat. Everybody loves a funny hat. I love a funny hat, Scott. I'm all for doing it in a funny hat. Here we go. Umtiti, Rakitic and Dembele. See, what I'd read, Phil, was that they wanted Neymar and they were willing to send one of the 3 you mentioned going the other way. But again, let's just wait and see what happens. A full stream with Craig in pink ballerina costumes. Sure, that could just be a Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? If you know me, Senior Alflamo, I don't get embarrassed at all. I would walk to the fucking shop in a pink ballerina costume and I wouldn't, well, that's a lie. I wouldn't walk anywhere because I'm a lazy bastard. But I would drive to the shop and walk around in the shop in a pink ballerina costume. I don't get embarrassed about stuff like that. Do a live cast with a United top on. Yeah, there would have to be money for charity for that to happen, mate. And I doubt Liverpool fans are going to want the forfeit of us winning the league to be seeing me in a United top. That doesn't make any sense, really. But I'd do it. But it would have to be for charity in that case. Was there any truth in this 150 million Salah sale? No. Not that I know of, Ian. And the only remnant of this story I remember is that Juventus were linked with that bid when there was talk of Dybala coming the other way, but I don't think it's true. Yes, Craig, red eyebrow has to be done. Has to be one. There you go. Yeah, it is one. Look at this motherfucker. It's like a slug that just has a little dip and comes back in. But you know what? I've got eyelashes to die for. Do you know what I mean? All you ladies out there, check out these bad boys. My wife keeps saying she hates me because of my eyelashes. I mean, of all the hair I have, these are the ones that I'm most proud of. God, this stream goes to fucking weird places at times. How do I tag people? You put at and then their name, mate. Although I'm not sure if only mods can do that. I'm not sure. Maybe they can't. Maybe everyone can. But if you can, it's just at and then start writing somebody's name. So you know the at like an email address. A week-long temperature tattoo LFC badge on your forehead. Yeah, there's definitely no way I'm getting a tattoo on my forehead, Willow. I do have a life to live. Oh, temporary. You did say temporary. Sorry. Yeah, stick it in. Stick it in the potential list if it's temporary. Yeah, why not? What's this? Everybody can, Craig. Oh, everyone can tag. Sorry. All right, great. Well, then it's just put in at and then a name, as Brian has done there as an example. Yeah, we won it 6 times, Jared. We absolutely did, my friend. 6 wonderful times. Right, anything else, ladies and gents, before we finish up for tonight? There is, a few minutes left to go. If you have any more topics or anything you want to ask or talk about. Leo said he styles his nose hair. I shave mine, mate. I just don't like having hair on my nose. Get an LFC badge tattooed on your arm or leg. I have a Liverpool tattoo on my leg, although it's not. There is a liverbird in it, but it's part of a bigger tattoo that involves me, a gingerbread man, autism jigsaw pieces, and a few other bits and pieces as well. Did you mention Harry Wilson? I spoke about him a little bit. I gave my opinion on him and said that I think he's not currently good enough to be at Liverpool. But if we were to sell him, I would always like to see the buyback clause in there. But I think a loan would also be clever. He did sign a new deal last year, so he's got like 3 or 4 years left on his deal with Liverpool. Love this channel. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, John. That really does mean a lot, mate. For all the trolling comments and shit that we get in, it's always worth it for people like John there who've taken the time to say that they watch. And I know some people just like to comment like that and don't interact much in the chat. And just knowing people in the background are enjoying it, that means the world to myself and Connor, mate. So thank you so much. Everybody can tag. There you go, Joanne. Nice one. Thank you very much. You guys educate me all the time. I told you, when I told you that I'm a YouTube idiot, I really am a YouTube idiot. Trust me, I know zippity-doo that about this stuff, except I know how to turn on YouTube. Connor has stuff set up and I know how to talk. After that, my skill set's very limited. Remember Klopp saying he wants Dembele, talking about Fekir? Remember Klopp saying he wants Dembele, talking about Fekir? Blaine, that's confused me a bit, mate. Sorry, the last part, the Fekir part, has thrown me off there. Florence said something, great goal against United, great chat, mate, thank you. Oh, Florence, you're welcome. Thank you for your input as well in the chat tonight. Got to drive to the airport at 3:45 a.m. and I'm still up watching the stream. Well, is it Lunatic? Firstly, thank you, mate. But mate, go get some rest. If you're up early to go to the airport, buddy. I don't know if you're off on your jolly bobs, but if you are, have a great trip. I reckon Dembele and Keita would have good banter together, similar to Sturridge and Keita in pre-season, said Jack's page. Big LC said Wilson and Kent are not good enough, but they're more proven than Brewster. Not much older. Why not give them a chance instead of Brewster? Because Ryan Brewster, there's sometimes, I said this the other day, sometimes there's players or football clubs coming through that it's just known that they're that good, that they're going to make it. So I'm saying Steven Gerrard, I'm saying Raheem Sterling, Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler. There's just players that have it, that's something, that special thing about them that you just can't hold them back. And Ryan Brewster is one of those type of players, in my opinion, mate. And that's the difference with him. You will see Ryan Brewster just slot in at the very top level, in my opinion. And look, it's all just about opinions. Harry Wilson, Ryan Kent, those guys, they could be great. I could be completely wrong on it, but it's not looking too good for them at this moment in time with regards to their futures at Liverpool. Henderson to score some Gerrard style goals next season, 40-yard volleys. I'd love that to happen. I know, mate, give them a chance of a proper conversation. That was aimed at somebody else. Again, Kev's put the link in there to the 12men.com if anybody wants to use it for the discount code. That's a direct link that gives you the code. What else we got? Don't forget, tomorrow we're giving away those scarves, by the way. So keep an eye out on Instagram, keep an eye out on Twitter, and of course, on here tomorrow night. I'll announce the winner on here. Just make sure you're subscribed. That's all you need to do on here to be in with a chance to win one of those wonderful scarves from the12men.com. Shout out to Mo Salah Facts on Twitter as well, a friend of ours. Serendipity Furniture, who I want to give massive love to as well, who are making us that wonderful chair that we spoke about. Lots of love to them. Please do go and check them out on Instagram. I think it's Serendipity Furniture is the name of their Instagram account. Not being an Instagram user, I could be wrong on that one, but do check them out. I mean, their furniture is simply amazing. It's breathtakingly handmade, beautiful stuff. Craig, I listen more than I write because I love the British accent. I'm Irish, mate. I'm no British here, but I'm glad you're watching, and I'm not. And don't please, I'm not having a go with you, by the way. It's an easy mistake to make, but I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Any chance of getting match tickets for the new season? I hope so, Ian. I haven't got a sniff yet, but look, if I have to go to a travel agent and give them greasy bastards money this year for tickets, then so be it. But hopefully I can get sorted out with a couple of tickets. We had hoped to get over to Leicester away and visit Anthony and Lee and a few of the guys there, but that game's been scheduled for what we call St. Stephen's Day, which you call Boxing Day, which just means no way. There's no way we can leave families around Christmas and go over to a game. So yeah, that's a shit one, because we really were hoping to get over to the away game in Leicester. What else we got? What's up with Willow? So I see people saying they're wishing Willow well. I'm not sure. Let me just scroll back, because we love Willow. I want to see what's up with Wendy. Can't find the comment. Whatever it is, Wendy, I hope you're okay, mate. You know you can contact me on Twitter and stuff if you need to, mate. There's no such thing as a British accent. Probably true, yeah. Well, there kind of is as well, because wherever the accent of the dialect is from within the UK, I suppose technically that is a British accent, because there's different oh, mate, look, we don't need to get into this. I get what you meant, sorry. I like Irish people. My Moroccan wife's got 2 Irish girlfriends. Nice. I like Irish people as well. We're a good old bunch, us Irish. If you were Klopp, who would you sign? Fekir? Werner? I said I really like those links as well to Matt Target of Southampton. If I had, if I could go and get Kylian Mbappe, I'd do that as well. Who's going to unify the heavyweight division? My money would be on Tyson Fury, Wizzy Rabbit. I've always said he was the one. Him and Anthony Joshua are probably going to be the two. Joshua obviously losing a fight he should never have lost for whatever reasons. Fury beat Wilder. I don't care if it was a draw. Technically, we all know Tyson Fury beat him. And for me, Tyson Fury is the man. Even though he doesn't have a belt, he's the linear champion. And now, him, for me, he's top of that heavyweight pile at the moment. When's the next stream? Tomorrow, Florence. Every night at 9:30, mate. We try and do a stream every night at 9:30. And on that, it seems a good place to leave it for tonight. Thank you, as always, ladies and gents, for coming in. I really appreciate your time. To those of you who watch and don't comment, hello to you guys as well. Hope to see you back here tomorrow at 9:30. We'll go through the transfer gossip, anything else that happens. Have a wonderful Wednesday wherever you're watching in the world. Thank you so much as always for your time, your patience, your input, your love. And to the trolls, kiss my ass, as always. But look, it's not about them, it's about love. We like to try and spread love on here. Take care of your families, ladies and gentlemen. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking 6 times European Cup winning Reds. Love to